What's up, y'all? Psych Perspectives, giofvcks, and what am I talking about today? Right? We're still talking about narcissism because I really don't think people really understand, not fully understand how ingrained this mental illness is in society. So many suffer from narcissism and suffer from other mental health issues, trauma, and etc. that have greatly impacted their view on others, on reality, on emotions, on everything. Mental illness is a huge problem in our society. And it's a huge problem. So what I want to talk about, especially after what I just went through this past 2 days, you know me, keep it transparent, keep it real, dealing with my mom and grandmother, and I've talked about this numerous times with toxic black mothers, toxic black women, and I will be talking, I talk about black men and black fathers as well, stay tuned, but I have made a decision. June, July would be ideal, but if not, definitely by my birthday. Hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. It's just the way it is. I will be relocating about an hour away, because I've just kind of come to the realization for myself that things are not going to get better. And I don't have time to waste my life dealing with you and your bullshit. That's just really how I'm come, because what I've noticed with narcissistic people, you have to realize everything is about them. They don't care about anybody else about them. If it's not beneficial to them, then it doesn't matter. They literally live in la la land. They think everything evolves around them. This is why they have such a hard time processing other people's emotions and feelings. If you notice, when you talk to them, they always find a way to bring it back to them. Always. You could be talking about anything and they will find a way to turn that conversation, twist and turn it into being back to them so they can be the focal point of the conversation. So my mom came over and spent the night, 2 days, came over Tuesday for Cinco de Mayo, spent the night Tuesday, spent the night Wednesday, finally left today, Thursday. And my entire life, this is gonna be a long video. My entire life, my mom has had issues, and our relationship has always been turbulent. It's never really been stable. We don't have what you would call a quote unquote, normal relationship between child and mother. It is what it is. And I've come to accept that. I mean, there's no, at this point for me, and this is why when people always say, well, people can change, I feel like that is a very cliche saying. Yes, people have the ability to change, but more often than none, they don't. And it doesn't make sense for you to stick around waiting for someone to change. It just doesn't. If somebody wants to get their lives together, they're going to get their lives together. If they don't, they're not. It all comes down to what that person wants. Don't waste your time and energy on other people. There, I said it. You feel me? Don't waste your time with other people. It's not worth it. Time will fly by and they will be in the same predicament. And that's what I've seen. I'm almost 30 years old and I'll be 28 in October, and it's literally been the same thing. My mom will be 50 in July. It's 5 decades of this for her. My grandmother is 75. She turned 75 in January. 7.5 decades for her. I will be 30 in October, or 28 in October. I'm almost 30, so almost 3 decades for me. So that's why I'm like, you sit around wasting time for these people to change. And like I said, life will pass you by. Time flies, like Drake said, time flies. While you sitting up praying, hoping, trying to change this. And if I do this and if I do that, it is what it is. You have to learn how to let people go. You know, I think that's like one of the biggest lessons in life. You have to learn to let people go. You got to learn to let people go. On some Umar Johnson. Learn to let people go. Because as long as you're sitting up here, and this is another thing that happens with narcissism and toxic manipulative people, is the fact that we all literally will sit up here and hope that one day they will see the light and realize that what they're saying and doing is hurting you and hurting others, and they can correct it. It is what it is. You got to learn to let people go. So I'm letting go. You know, I was sticking around here to help family because, quite frankly, I realized my grandmother is older and needs assistance. My mom needs assistance, you know, and I always do what, you know, for family. But I'm learning as time goes on, it's not really my responsibility to take care of you. It's not my responsibility to stick around while you constantly are abusive, you're constantly disrespectful, you're constantly delusional, you're constantly irrational, you're constantly, you know, going back and forth, and just to sit up and see all of the behaviors that they talk about when you're dealing with narcissism and toxic people, and then to actually witness it happen in your face. And then to realize all these years previously, before I even understood what narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder is, before I even understood what being toxic or being a toxic person was, that means all of these previous 27 years, this was going on. And I just didn't have a name for it. You know, and I just thought that was just the way it was. And I really thought, oh, my life is just going to always be like this, unfortunately. And I really used to believe that until I got into therapy. And then I started realizing this isn't healthy, this is dysfunctional, this is toxic. And yes, your grandmother has a mental health issue. Your mother has a mental health issue. You have a mental health issue. You feel me? Because we are products of our environments. A lot of us wouldn't be in therapy in the first place if we didn't grow up in bullshit. I'm just being real. You know, truth hurts. If we didn't have to grow up in toxic, dysfunctional, abusive shit every waking moment of our lives, we wouldn't have post-traumatic stress disorder. We wouldn't have anxiety. You know, I'm just being real. And some of this is hereditary and biological. Some of this is chemical imbalances, but some of this is highly related to the environment and the experiences that you have. This is why that whole argument, nature versus nurture, that's where that comes from. Because nature, you have that hereditary link where this can be passed down. This is why we talk about generational trauma and breaking those cycles. But then we also have nurture, where this is the people around you. A lot of us did not receive proper nurturing. I mean, how can you? You know, in my experience, my mom had no business having me. Okay? Had no business having me. Was literally 22 years old, having a kid. And father was not there. And then my mom pretty much lost custody of me very early. Because like when I look at my life, I can literally only remember 3 solid years I spent living with her. So, and that was 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. All these other years, it's grandparents. They had custody. And even then, and there's going to be story times, stay tuned. Those 3 years that I spent with her, there were some good times. Not gonna lie, had some fun, but there was a lot of fucked up ass shit going on at the same time. So that's why I'm like, okay, had no business having me, okay? But then again, I don't completely fault her, because if this is the type of mother she had, the type of father she had, the craziness and dysfunctional, it's not a surprise that you have issues. So that's why I'm learning to forgive, heal, and let go. Okay? And I'm at that point now where I'm letting go. You know, I love my family, but guess what? I also love myself. And loving yourself is recognizing when it's time to go. It's time to face reality. Nothing good is coming out of this. Do you have another 27 years to waste? You feel me? And that's really how I look at it at this point. So, my grandmother decided to, you know, put on makeup, get her hair together, you know, put on clothes, because she's basically been depressed for 5 years since my grandfather passed away, which is understandable. And I'm going to say this disclaimer. Mental health and mental illness is a serious issue. People deserve treatment and resources and opportunities to get help. However, at the same time, you having mental health issues still doesn't resolve you from how you treat other people. Just because you're depressed doesn't get to mean you get to treat everyone else like shit. And another thing with narcissists, they love to blame other people for why they do the things they do. And that is not, So anyways, she got her face on, got her hair done yesterday. And, Tuesday for Cinco de Mayo. And my mom took a picture of her. You know, she was very happy to see her. And that's my mama. And then my uncle, oh, I want a picture. Let me see. Da, 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 da. So my mom sent her a picture. And then I took her a picture, I think 2 or 3 pictures. And then I didn't send them because I'm not on Facebook. I'm not, I was on Facebook and then I got off. I do not care for that shit. I don't care for people being in my business 24/7. And I just don't care for the fakeness of social media. Like, everything is so fake. It makes absolutely no sense how we literally get on here to lie. And that's it. But anyways, so I got on, I took the picture, and when I sent it, I finally sent it, and then of course, here she is, in true narcissistic fashion, always has to put people against each other. You sitting up here on the thing, well, the picture that I sent was better than the one that she sent. That's what she said Tuesday night. And me and my mom, we're sitting in here like, it's a fucking picture. Who cares? And again, narcissists, why do you always have to try to pit people against each other? That's all you ever do, okay? Again, like I said in the other video that I did last year when I was talking about toxic black mothers and black women, this is what they do, okay? You can't have a happy moment with these people, because they're going to find a way to try to put y'all against each other. When there's multiple family members, sisters, brothers, offsprings, grandkids, cousins, uncles, aunts, they're going to find a way to have y'all arguing, okay, and try to start some shit that don't even make sense. You sitting over here talking about who sent the best picture like we're fucking 5 years old. Grow up. Again, when you're dealing with narcissists, they are forever stuck in this childish mindset. Grow up. Seriously. Then the following day, yesterday, Wednesday, she was like, oh, well, actually, your mom sent the better picture. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, again, this is what I'm talking about. And again, me and my mom, we're both just kind of like, who cares? Okay. And then it all makes sense. This is why my uncle does not come over here. And when he does come over here, it's for a brief moment of time. He's not trying to stay over here. And because again, nobody wants to deal with you. What do you not get? Your attitude is trash. You're constantly sitting up here talking about how everybody else treats you, this, that, and the other, but you don't see how you do people. That's why people don't want to be bothered with you. Which brings me to my next point. Narcissists always end up by themselves. Nobody is going to stick around dealing with you. Now it all makes sense as to why nobody wants to come over here. Nobody wants to hang out with you. This is why everybody is away. This was before coronavirus. It is what it is. You literally bring the mood of everybody around you down. And you intentionally do this. You can't have a happy moment. You always, and then another thing, all the constant belittling. You know, you go out of your way to call people out of their names, but let somebody do that to you, and then you want to sit up and cry and play victim. Another thing, narcissists, they never can dish what they dish out. They never want a taste of their own medicine. That's my whole point. They can sit up and treat everybody like shit, lie, steal, manipulate, kill, do dirty, but let you give them an ounce of the treatment that they've been giving you, and they sit up and act like it's World War III, it's the end of the world. But they can dish it out all day, but they can't never take it back. That's what I'm saying. Again, it's old and it's ridiculous. Okay? Then my mom, she has a lot of physical health issues, having MS, multiple sclerosis, and, you know, she wants to spend the night and everything. And, you know, what I'm about to say is, you know, this is me venting, but it can also be seen as being insensitive at the same time, and I totally understand that. I do. But I'm still gonna vent. I love my mom, but things are so different because it's like, you know, you want to do these random spend the night things. And the thing is, I'm not a kid anymore. So a lot of this, let's spend the night and do that would have been cool 15, 20 years ago. But at almost 30, it's too late. And that which brings me to my next point. When people say it's never too late, yes, it is. It is too late sometimes. You cannot sit up and be a deadbeat for years and then expect people to just forget everything that you've done, okay, and to just be okay with you not being around and then popping up whenever you feel like it. It doesn't work that way, okay? It doesn't. And then two, you know, on one side, having you over, laughing, talking about music and reminiscing on the fun times that we had in the past. Yes, that's a positive and it does make you laugh and feel good, hee hee ha ha. But then at the same time, my mom is a lot to have to deal with, right? Because it's not only you having MS, there's so many other things going on that I haven't really talked about. And like I talk about in my therapy sessions, but it's just so annoying. Like, and which brings me to my next point, and I get it. She's extremely needy. Because my grandmother is also extremely needy. And then for me, that is such a turnoff when people act like they can't do anything for themselves and they always need something. That is annoying. And that's another reason why I'm like, I am so ready to relocate and not have to deal with y'all. And not have to see you every day, not have to talk to you every day. That's where I'm at. It is so annoying on a constant basis. Like, you can't get up and start your day without bullshit. And then it's bad enough dealing with one of you, but when they're both together, oh my God. And got to nerve to wonder why. people don't want to deal with you, why people are drinking and smoking. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, I can use other ways of coping that are healthier, and I need to have more self-control over that. And I realize that, which is why I know I'm relocating. I can't deal with this anymore. I can't. You people drive folks crazy, and you're constantly nagging and bitching and moaning on a daily basis. Now try listening to both of them do that. Oh my God. When I say I be so ready to just, okay, so that's why I know I got to go. I can't do it anymore. And I don't care anymore. You know, and that's another thing. You can't keep doing people dirty and then expect them to stick around. And that's something that toxic, narcissistic people don't understand. They ultimately, like I said, will end up being by themselves. Because nobody is going to stick around dealing with you and your bullshit. Okay? Nobody's going to do it. And you can't get mad at folks for moving on with their lives and doing other things. You can't. And you have to make sure that you put your mental health first. Another thing that don't make sense. You know, when I drink, one thing about me is, it's like I do drink a lot, but then at the same time, I'm in control. In the sense that I had 2 shots of Patron last night, and I was like, oh, I'm done. You know why? Because I got this. So I don't necessarily need to drink as much because I got this. So I knew, well, I don't have to be, you feel me? And then I like to listen to music and just like cut myself off and keep the door closed and not be around people because I get tired of dealing with people in their bullshit. Get tired of it. Nobody wants to hear woe is me 24/7. And that's another thing with narcissists. They're always in a damn crisis. Always in a crisis. And then listening to my mom and her flights of ideas that come out of nowhere and, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And can you do, and can you do, and can you do. And it's just like, shut the fuck up. Because all you do is talk about what you're gonna do and you never actually do any of it. Okay? I don't care, right? So there's that. And then another thing that gets on my nerves, you know, and a lot of us can relate to this, but I don't know if it's a black woman thing, a black mother thing, a toxic thing, a narcissistic thing, a dysfunctional, I don't know. But I do know this. When other people are on the phone talking, why in the fuck are you in the conversation? Why are you in the background? Why are you butting in? Nobody's talking to you. So shut the fuck up. And I cannot stand, you know, I'm on the phone with my friend talking, and that's another thing about narcissists that I've noticed, right? They can do the same thing. Because what my grandmother likes to do, oh, you guys are always on the phone. All you guys do is talk on the phone. But then, who is on the phone from sun up to sundown? It's 10 o'clock at night, you're on the phone. It's 6 in the morning, you're on the prayer line. It's okay for you to be on the phone, and on top of that, have it on speaker, be talking loud as hell, people sleep, and you can hear the prayer line on, everything, all this. But then the minute somebody else gets on the phone, now, oh, you on the phone too much. You do the hypocrisy. The double standards and the hypocrisy. All of that is ridiculous because once again, when it comes to narcissists, if they don't have your attention 24/7, because they have to be the center of attention, they're going to have a fucking bitch fit. Part 2 coming up.